Welcome to Declare's Delight for Life. Hi, I'm Andrea, the Sensible Lady, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Declare's Delight for Life. I put the sensible in sensible and help you declutter the clutter of life. Tonight is how to transform your life into a great physical space. As many of you know, I used to be a former hoarder, and tonight I'm going to talk about how I transform my physical space and give you some examples of some of the items I've used to help organize, what I do. And I just thought, that some of you may be curious about what I did and some simple ideas that hopefully you can transfer into your home. Because I know for me, having an organized home that's simple to organize is really important. But I also am realistic about my organizational, because for me, to keep things neat and tidy, I will admit sometimes it's a challenge. Like today, I organized a whole bunch of files, and they're all neat and tidy now, and I know exactly where everything is. And I do that on a weekly basis and make sure I don't have any big piles. In fact, I used to have piles like this, and they used to be all over the house, but they're not all over the house anymore. In fact, like I said, I decluttered 30,000 pieces of paper, but it's not that way anymore. As you can see, my home is very realistic. I do have lots of books. I do have to admit I have some knickknacks, but they are all reasonable. In fact, I've decluttered probably about 90% of my knickknacks and got rid of them. I've got rid of a lot more of my stuffed animals. As you can see, there's a lot less back here. And I've decluttered some of those. And I'm only leaving myself what I really want. And that's one of the keys I have found in my own decluttering, is keeping what I really want and what really means a whole lot to me. Because to me, that's what it's all about. Sometimes it's really hard to get rid of stuff because sometimes there's a lot of meaning attached to certain things. And sometimes, I hate to say this, we have to detach ourselves from, items and look at them in a little more different kind of perspective. And I know for me, when I had to let go of so much stuff, which is about 80, right now it's about 85% of my home, which has been a challenge for me, having lived here 31 years where I lived. And like I said, I may be moving, but that only depends on certain factors, and I don't really know. But only time will tell with that. But the one thing I know is I got more to do, and I'm going to continuously do it, because I actually want my home to have a whole lot less stuff, because the only thing I do know is I can't take it with me, and I don't think any of us can do that. And I want to give you some examples of some items I use when I do some organizations. These are some of the simple baskets I use. I've used them in my bathroom. I've used them to organize some of the files in my office. I've used them to organize all sorts of things. They're very simple. They're very inexpensive. If some of you have dollar stores, you can probably find them in there, or you can find them at Walmart. And they're very inexpensive, maybe $1 or $1 to maybe $3 a piece, and that's very much. They're hard plastic, and they'll hold a lot of stuff, and you can actually see through them and really see what you have. And these are very handy, and you can see I have a stack, and I keep these available to make sure that I can really have things organized in an organized fashion. And I can't, stress about containment of items, because sometimes I used to have counters in my bathroom where I had everything strewn everywhere, and now I keep everything like for daily usage in one of my baskets, right? One of these baskets I showed right here. I keep like my toothbrush, all my personal items I use every day. Even part of my own decluttering of my physical space included myself. I simplified my own personal care routine as far as that was concerned. I just use simple almond oil for my skin. And for those who participate, it also works well for that too. If you have a partner, and if I think you understand what I'm saying from that point of view, I just thought I'd throw that in there because, and it's all organic and everything. And I use simple soap that is organic and is good for my skin. And I use a simple hair shampoo that's organic too. And I use a total of about 4 different products. I used to use a lot of makeup. I used to use a lot of different products. It used to be very confusing, about what I had to keep and what I had to do. And now when I travel, it's very simple, and I can pack things in a suitcase much less. I can remember, if we talk about, decluttering physical space, think about when I used to travel. I used to take, 2 big suitcases, a smaller suitcase, and a backpack. Now I'm down to 1 suitcase and a backpack, and that's what I'll take for a whole week when I go traveling here very shortly. And, that's physical space when you're traveling, because when you're traveling you have to look at what you really need to take and what you don't. I do definitely encourage to make a list of what you're going to take and check it off as you do it, and that includes doing things around the house, realizing that we all have things we have to do. But when it comes to decluttering, I find that it gets even better when we make things simple for ourselves so we don't have to remember things so much. I know for myself, I'm going to put these down on the floor and show you some other items. And there's a couple different sizes. There's this. You can find this at the dollar store. You can find this at the dollar store. And I think I've already showed you this. And these make neat and tidy things that you can use too to make more self-containment of bigger items. They make great things for containing dog toys. They make great things for containing videos or any number of things throughout your home. And you have to think about all those factors. And what can I say as far as things are going for you guys is that, physical space itself is, quite a factor as far as that's concerned. What I want you guys to realize that your physical space can definitely have an impact on your mind space and your spiritual space, because sometimes when everything seems messy around you, your life seems a mess. And that doesn't necessarily have to be true, because just like this item I showed you, it's empty. But what you fill it up with in your life and organize it helps you organize your life. And when you organize your life, you're able to do much better. And how can I say it? So many times we get caught up in a cycle where things seem so, drastic that we don't think we can let go of anything. One of my biggest suggestions to folks, you see this basket? For those who have a really, really difficult time letting go of stuff, the one thing I do suggest is taking maybe one of these baskets, once a day, and decluttering items out of your home, papers or whatever, once a day, and then, letting those go in the garbage can or wherever, or if you feel like donating items or whatever. I always start from the small to the big. I know, there are some organizers that tell you to batch or, do this or put everything in boxes or whatever. One thing I did find is that when I started with the small to the big, it made the letting go process much easier. And making the letting go process much easier, I was able to handle it much better. It took me several months to declutter my home, but what I have now is much more comfortable. And I know for you guys, you want to have a much more comfortable space yourself. If you think about it, decluttering, say, like your front room, your bedroom, your bathroom, your closets, your kitchens, your bedrooms, and all those, when it comes right down to it, I'm going to give you 3 simple steps for yourself that you can do to make your job easier as far as decluttering things. And no, I don't like to make things complicated by telling you have to fold your shirts a certain way or you have to throw clothes on the bed. I'm going to let you know about a letting go process because I think that's the biggest factor when we have to deal with all these things. 1, how much is the item worth to you as far as value is money and value is to you as a person. Number 2, how much is it worth if you let it go, and how much will it, anxiety or of a problem will it create for you mentally? 3, how much better will you feel once you let go of the items that you let go of at the time you're letting go of that? I've used those 3 simple steps over and over again, and they've really made a big difference in deciding what I was able to do and what I wasn't able to do. And, I've given you basically, what I do as far as my physical space into a great space. And I know for you guys that you can do it too, because believe me, being a former hoarder turned declutterer is not such an easy task. But the one thing I do know, you can do it if you choose to. I know some people tell you you don't have a choice, but I am letting you know you do have a choice. Whether you're buried under piles of paper and all sorts of stuff and everything seems to be to the ceiling, you can do it. I know you guys can do it. You can do it if you choose to, because I was able to do it. I was able to do it. I'm also looking for folks who also want to be on podcasts or other people who are influencers too, because I'm launching a podcast here really soon. And I definitely welcome anybody who would like to be on a podcast who's an influencer or who would like to tell their personal story too. And I would definitely welcome that. And if you would send me an email at ddflrocks@gmail.com or messenger me on Messenger that you would like to do that, I would definitely welcome that, because I think it would be great to hear from you guys and have you on my podcast, because I think that's a wonderful thing, because I'd love to interview and get to really know you, because I think you guys are all wonderful folks. We are all wonderful folks if we choose to be. No matter what your background is or where you came from, we all can have great physical space that turns into a great space, because we are sometimes our space, whether it be our mind, our spirit, our physical space. And what I want you guys to know is that no matter what, I will be here for you, and that things will continue on as they've been, and I will be here for quite some time. And things are only going to get better, because I've got something coming up for you guys that I think will be great. And I just want to let you guys know that I think a lot of you. You guys mean a lot to me. And I want you guys to come into, I also have a group that, if you'd like to be part of the group, just, send me an email or go to my Facebook group, Declares Delight for Life, and you can join the group right there on my page. And I go in there once a month and I do some chatting, and that's a great thing. And I would definitely welcome you guys being there. So, so what does this all come down to? Is I have a lot of great stuff for you guys. So don't forget, get a hold of me. Get a hold of me at ddflrocks at gmail.com. That's a general email we have, or you can contact me too. I also have a better email if you really, really want to get a hold of me, and it's a little more private, but I'm willing to give it out now, and that's Andrea, ANDREREA at 84THREET.com. That's 84th. That's Andrea at 84th Street Rocks. So I want you all to have a great night. Blessings to you all. And you know what? I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow night. And you have peace and tranquility and hope and love. And let there be light in all of your eyes.